country. As the president of the country, I will make sure that my political party is not left behind. I'll make sure I carry everybody along as a person, as a party, as a worker, as anything that can help me to achieve the goals I have for our dear country. For the country in general, uh, I want to change the perspective of this country from other international community, and also to make sure that the way the other countries are seeing our own country is changed forever. Not that it will only change in my own time, but I'll fight for that will make sure that body that comes to us that also adhere the policy and maintain the standard of
Your
the
time is up.
country. Oh, thank you.
Okay, next, candidates of the Labour Party.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Victor Damut, and I'm the presidential candidate for Labour Party, Pseudo Labour Party. Labour Party have done a lot for me. I've learned a lot during taking assignments, carrying out tasks, and I believe that they trusted me and they had faith in my capability and capacity to represent them as their president and also the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our ideology revolves around strengthening peace and security, providing equality system for everyone in Nigeria, bridging the gap between the poor masses and those who are enriching themselves with the treasures of Nigeria. So our ideology revolves around ensuring first that there is peace and people are safe in our nation. Secondly, it also revolves around the idea of unity. We have seen that we have become so much divided in between ethnicity, religion, and some kind of ideologies that have never bounded us together. And so our goal and our aim of producing a president for Nigeria is to rely on this and strengthen these ideologies to bring it to limelight, to bring it to reality. And lastly, it's about the equality I started talking about. Every Nigerian is to be taken very important. Every Nigerian, whether you are poor, whether you are rich, whether you are average level. Thank you very much.
All right. Next is the candidate of the APGA. Candidates of the APGA.
You're muted.
Tonight is the eve of a memorable event in the history of our country. We are at a crossroad of choices, whether to vote based on party, ethnic, or religious identity, or to vote for the best candidate to save this country. I am Sani Shehu Ahmed, and I'm seeking for your vote on the platform of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. Our core priority areas when we take office as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria are in health, education, agriculture and food security, long-term economic plan, making the citizens understand governance better, and in ensuring safety and security. In the area of health, we will be shifting our focus to preventive health care, We'll be empowering local governments to take charge of primary health care so that nobody will be so that the number of people that would require secondary health care will be limited. In that way, our budget on health will be catered at federal level, will be catering for only the very sincere cases of health. Now, in education, we are going to rejig our education to take note of the needs of different parts of the country, not just one size fits all education. And then we would raise the amount of funding that education is getting. In the area of food security, we would revitalize local government such that they will be able to revive rural life, provide roads, provide storage facilities, provide infrastructure that will make people that are moving to the cities to go back to the rural areas and farm. And also, we will reject that international agenda of genetically modified crops. In long-term economic plan, we are looking at diversifying economy into digital economy, and we'll be doing this through a revitalized education. In understanding governance, democracy is not for an illiterate population. So we are going to invest in making sure all Nigerian citizens have access to justice and legal system. We would ensure freedom of information, and we would have a very robust civic society. In the area of safety and security, we would allow community policing like the whole of Nigeria have been clamoring for. Thank you for listening to me.
All right, thank you. Finally, we have the candidate of the APC.
In our time, Nigeria will be great. All protocols are well and duly observed. I am by name Honorable Adi Wali Ati, the candidate and APC vice chair. As a party, our All Progressive Party known for our ideology, and our ideology is just the agenda. This is number one, human capital development. And the number two, we always lay emphasis on economic development. And just like you, a common Nigeria, even a layman, he always requires that he wants a good governance, that everybody will participate. That's the ideology for people with our past centralized on. And I, as a candidate, why is it decided, why my party decided to put me forward? Because of my past activity. We have been doing so about one. As far as the area of education is concerned, as an advocate for education, I am trying to prioritize this education. Because if education is the way, how do you want to get it right? And how do I prioritize education system? There will be free and accessible quality education that will ensure that every child has access to primary and secondary education, just like our father, Okasli, Okasemi, Awolowo have done it in the past. And I say that I'm going to replace it. That's the area of education. One economic development. How do I want to come here on the area of economic development? This one is statistic of Nigeria. Nigeria is a West African country. I realize that our country has to use it. Are we together?
No, we can't hear your audio is not good enough.
Because of the alarm that goes on now. Okay, let me just proceed. Like I was saying, on the areas of economic development, all these multi-state enterprises, they are working at end and there are some things issues of waste of
Candidates of the APC, your video is blurry and your audio is not very clear. So I suggest before the next round of questions come, you probably look for an alternative. All right, Edie, you can go with the next round. Thank you.
alarm.
Lady, your audio is breaking.
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Hello? Really massively here. All the candidates are through.
Yes.
For me, it's raining here.
Okay.
So
Sorry about
it's raining here. I think that's the same situation with the APC candidates. So to help everyone perform best, I think videos are not mandatory because I will be using less packets. So Lisa, it's up to you. You can call the next name and I'll ask the next question. Thank you.
All right. We'll start with the candidate of the Labour Party for this next round of questions.
I want to round up first and start. Pardon.
Is it that the APC candidates can't hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. The ED asked that you could take down your video so it will consume less data and maybe your voice can be clearer that way. But we'll start with the candidates of the Labour Party for this next round of questions.
Candidates of Labour Party, you have 1 minute 30 seconds. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. As a presidential candidate, part of your job during campaigns will be to visit different parts of Nigeria. How do you hope to sell yourself to different parts of Nigeria using different respective indigenous customs available across the 250 ethnic groups in Nigeria? Thank you.
Please, I didn't get the latter part of what you said. How do I intend to visit?
Your campaigns will entail you travel across Nigeria. How do you hope to sell yourself to different indigenous tribes in Nigeria as a unified candidate to represent them all?
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Ibi. To every Nigerian and citizen, party members, and everyone here, we all know that myself and my vice president, whose name is Habiba Suleiman, have been working tirelessly, even among the Labour Party, to be more cross-cultural in selecting the team of the campaign team we have, cutting across every state, every local. Our intention is to set up a structure that provides quality transfer of information. And we are bringing these stakeholders on board because we believe that they are valuable. Grassroots campaign is so important. The people cannot know you if their own people cannot talk to them about the candidate himself. I've never seen Ahmed Bola Tinubu. I've never seen Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. I've never seen Muhammadu Buhari physically and touched him. But I believe the story most of the people around me have spoken about, a kind of stepping down of information and communication from people who have experienced staying with me, people who have experienced relating with me, probably some of them during my school days. These are people I should be able to bring back. We're going to bring them into the campaign team to be able to foster proper and within local governments and villages. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, next we have next we have the candidates of the ABGA.
All right.
Good day. As a presidential candidate, one of the key things Nigeria or key problems Nigeria is facing is basically national orientation and everybody feeling that they are not part of the Nigerian identity. What steps will you be taking while in office to address this?
Thank you. We would start by working on orientation of the young people who did not know the meaning of the national pledge that they said throughout their days in primary school and secondary school. We would embark on rigorous civic engagement for them to know that they are in a social contract since the day they were born and registered as Nigerian citizens. We would point out to them how Nigeria has provided for their upbringing, how Nigeria provided for their primary health care, how Nigeria immunized them against polio, against diseases that would have made them die before they turn 5 years old. In this sense, we will tell them what Nigeria has given in the social contract from the side of the nation. And what we are expecting of them is just to feel, think, and act as a member of this corporate entity called Nigeria. Then, the other thing breaking our national identity is the perennial ethnic politics we play every 4 years. So this time, we are taking the bull by the horn. We are running a strictly issue-based campaign. We are not dividing people based on ethnic group or religion or anything. We are campaigning as Nigeria, coming to serve Nigeria. So we taking the lead by not polarizing people because we want to win election. Then when we eventually emerge, we try by telling the youth how much Nigeria has given to them to become citizens of Nigeria and how much they too need to give back to Nigeria so that this nation can work for all. We will let them know that going anywhere else, they will be second-class citizens. But being born here and having ancestry here, they are first-class citizens of Nigeria. This we hope to do through the National Orientation Agency, through the film, the entertainment industry, and through the leaders of thought in religion and in the social media influencing space. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the candidates of the APC.
Is he here?
Yes, he is. Okay, you can just put down your video so that less data will be consumed and we can hear you clearly.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. In your earlier conversation, when you were putting forward your pitch, you mentioned your father in politics or our grandfather in politics, Obafemi Awolowo. This might not come as, if you put that name forward, it might not come, you will not seem like a fully Nigerian candidate. Having said that publicly here, tell us how you convince the rest of Nigeria that you're not practicing the same regional politics we're planning to run away from. Thank you.
I'm not practicing the same politics is practicing. Like you was already saying our agenda, our party ideology is centralized on people with which is central market. I even lay emphasis on it under our party ideology that we are working on human capital development, good governance, and open government. When there's open government, I believe that there's no need for cyber. We are not going to be of tribalism. It's not for tribe. It's about conflict that we want to change the narrative. And it's not just about Nalo that make it different. Now, they are saying to also make it different. There is no way that we are not going to be making reference to our heroes. We are just trying to acknowledge our heroes. That doesn't imply that I'm going to apply all their policies. But one thing that I've always found from late Obafemi Awolowo is that when we talk about free education, that almost all of us are enjoying this today, which is primary education. It was brought forward by late Obafemi Awolowo. I'm going to embrace that ideology. And at the same time, I feel later Jimmy emphasis on it that even to the secondary level in our own administration, we are going to work towards this that secondary level students, their education is going to be for free. And when you are institutionally, you are going to ensure that if we can give the service to we can give them with this type of system in place, this is going to encourage every Nigeria and reason why there is need for them to participate as a Nigeria and patriotic citizen. Just like you normally say, all what we are doing, we are want to do it for the love of the country. I speak for you.
Thank you very much. For the candidate of the APC, it must be critical to understand that in realistic political situations, making that statement about Obafemi Awolowo has cost you votes from other sub-regions. And if I were to act in this capacity, I would say I'll take out your votes tomorrow. This is because we try to make it as realistic as possible. No candidate has put forward a name of a particular, somebody representing a particular tribe or something. I gave you a chance to wriggle out of it and you didn't wriggle. The Electoral College fully stands and we've taught you Nigeria first. That's what we've taught you. And you can't circumvent that, especially on our debate. If you mention this again, I will be forced to act nationally. We're not saying don't mention heroes. You can, but don't build your conversation about a particular tribe. Nigeria is too sensitive for that, and the Electoral College does not underline subscribe to that. I hope I make myself very clear.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Lisa, your honors.
All right. We have the candidate of the NMPP. Please go ahead.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, I believe you are the one in your conversation that told us you're from Cross River State. Nobody else told us their state of origin. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Understanding the basic lookout of Nigeria's politics, Cross River has not produced the president of Nigeria. You mentioning Cross River will be like an agitation for the South-South when you mention Cross River, though the South-South has produced the president. What will be your argument to say you deserve to run for president? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the question. First of all, me mentioning wasn't basically on the line of agitation that Cross River State has not produced a president in the country before, but I was just trying to identify myself with other people, telling others where I am coming from. So now, to your question that you just asked, I by arguing the fact that it is not an agitation, that is why the NNPP, in their wisdom, choose me as their flag bearer by the way I present myself during the primary elections, by my action in the party, by my activities within the party, that I make sure that I touch with everyone who is in the party, not minding if whether you are from Cross River, you are from Southside, you are from anywhere. But I go round to make sure that I know everyone and to relate with everybody. So now, if elected as the president of this country, that shows that I cannot be a president of this country based on the fact that I am from Cross River State, but on the fact that I am a Nigerian, and on the fact that I want to rule my country, and I want to lead my country to the to the promised land that they desire. So on that part and on that note, I should submit that I am not on agit. Rather, I am fighting for the good of the country and the good of the citizens of this country. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And I hope you're aware that the debate, we try to make it as realistic as possible. You'll be asked questions from even questions of statements you've made. I believe that's what's being done averagely in debates and in debates we have done. So, Lisa, you have the right to go around again, and we'll take the second set of questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Edie. This time around, we'll start with the candidate of the APGA.
All right.
Okay. Good day. One of the problems of Nigeria has always been internal security. Could you give us a three-pronged approach to how you plan to deal with this in Nigeria? Thank you.
National security has multiple facets, and it's motivated by different causes. The three-pronged approach I'm using to combat national security is the kinetic approach, which is the use of force. The non-kinetic approach, the use of psychological, sociological, religious tools. And thirdly, the use alliances with our neighbors and international partners. The kinetic approach, which is supposed to be the first, is we will be empowering local communities to give us intel, not just through the DSS and the established security architecture, but through their traditional leaders, through the people they trust. And then we'll be giving them our confidence that whistleblowers will be safe. Now, we are re-energizing community policing. We will be registering the local vigilantes, and then we will look at how much we can produce some of the weapons that we are buying by ourselves, so that we will not put pressure on our budget of defense, such that our budget on education will suffer, our budget on agri will suffer. Education and economy are an underlying factor of many of our security challenge. Now, the non-kinetic is the second prong of my three-prong approach to national security. That is, we would be working with the religious leaders in the north who are preaching extremist stance that is motivating terrorism. We will be working with tribal lords in the north central who are championing inter-ethnic clashes. And in the south, we will be working with those that want Nigeria to give them contract of securing our pipeline. We cannot continue allowing private citizens secure the pipeline when we have the navies, where we have the Nigerian Navy and the Nigerian Army. Thank you. Those are the three kinetic approaches we are using to combat national security. The three-pronged approach.
All right, thank you, candidate of the APGA. Next, we move to the candidate of the APC.
The candidate of the APC, you've spoken a lot about education and free education. Considering Nigeria's position, excuse me, considering Nigeria's position with funds, how do you hope to balance free education and while providing quality education? Thank you.
There is one thing I need. If we have quality education, we have the infrastructure. People facilities we have. We already have it on ground. By the time we invest, we are going to, our administration is going to make sure that we invest in that, the application of school infrastructure. And at the same time, as far as the education sector is concerned, the teachers, we are going to try and incorporate teachers in training education, whereby we are going to do the orientation for the teachers so that we understand their role. As our school curriculum, how, how it's going to be changed on the curriculum on student grant where you lay emphasis on that, considering the faces of the community, how do we intend to do student grant? This student grant of the thing is not going to be meant for every student on campus on our institution. So I lay emphasis on it that it's free without paying a dime for primary and secondary school. But for tertiary institution, it's going to be more for the serving students. And what do I mean for the serving students? The best students, when it comes to academically, we are going to be organizing the kind of classroom whereby they will be eager to display their talent. And by the time they are displaying their talent, we are going to discover something. That kind of thing will even be sponsored beyond the country. And I believe with that, and we are also going to make sure that the partnership with the sustainable development goals, SDGs, because all other countries of the world, they are always ready to do something like that is going to be for the mass. As when the partnership with them, which is before clearly state that quality education for all, they are going to invest in our ideas by the time we table all our blueprints for them. So I just submit on that. There's nothing more. And as for me, whosoever we are going to appoint as our Minister of Education is going to be someone they have the knowledgeable part, they have the clear understanding of what education sector is doing.
All right, thank
I
you,
believe
candidate of the
knowledgeable.
APC. Okay, next we move on to candidate of the NMPP.
For me
Candidate
to
of the
ask,
NMPP.
they've called you already. For me to be asking whether you are there, I find it a little odd.
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
You could have spoken up since the moment she called you. You don't need me to call you again. You know you're next.
So sorry.
Food security has been an issue in Nigeria. This is also, an offshoot of the issues of internal security. I would like to know how you hope to address this in your presidency. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the question. An issue of food security in the country, uh, from the research we undergone before now, we discovered that the issue of food security is caused by the 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 fights within the country, the insecurity system within the country that caused so many farmers that they could not even go to their farms in some regions around the country. And in this aspect, we have discussed over this after our research that when we are being sworn into the office, we will take an action on this by working closely with the the the, the community leaders in the locals to make sure that we form a renowned security body from the community that goes around in the boundaries, from boundaries to make sure that nobody comes from the outside of the country or the neighboring countries around into our country to invade our farmers, to kill our farmers while doing the needful in the farm. So now we also discover that the inflation rates in the currency also affect the food security in our country. Because if if our money, our currency had that value like it was before, you see that the price of commodities in the market will also come down, and the price of uh, um, agricultural tools that our people use to farm before now, something like fertilizers, the cutlasses, hoes, and the rest
Your time is up.
will be cheap. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Finally, we have the candidate of the LP.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. First and foremost, being Mr. President, you will be focused on quite a lot of things. Most presidents' allocation to health has been poor. Infant mortality rates are higher than they've ever been. I'd like to know what you'll be doing, especially on your presidency, as regards the issue of the health sector. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Edie, for the question. Thank you, everyone. We all understand the plight of Nigeria concerning the health facilities we already have and the ones we've not yet had. We've been crying out loud for a better hospital facilities, and that is one of the first thing we will begin to channel funding to. As the president of Nigeria, tackling the health sector will be um, involved in addressing a long-time need and a short-time need. Underfunding and the infrastructure of these hospitals must be tackled squarely. We will consider injecting good funding, increasing the budgetary plan for us to be able to build
Your
good
time is up.
hospitals. What?
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Thank
you for your answers. Lisa, everybody's given 1 minute. I'll have to exit now, but Lisa, you can handle this. Let everybody just make 1 minute closing statement, and I wish you all the best of luck in your elections tomorrow. Lisa, I pass over control of this conversation to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Edie. So you all have 1 minute for your closing statement. We'll start with the candidate of the APC. Okay, let's start with the candidate of the NMPP.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity once again. My closing statement, will be urging everybody to vote for me, because you voting for me, you are voting for the betterment of the country tomorrow. You are voting for the great nation that we all have been waiting to see in years back. But voting for me, you are also voting for your security, your safety in the land. Because presently within the country, some states you cannot just move freely uh, around the state or from interstate. So voting, make sure that everything is being settled. I'll make sure I talk the governance to benefit the the citizen of the country, not just the politician, but the other citizens and the workers of the country, to make sure that the minimum wage we are talking about, by cutting down the cost of governance, I will make sure that I increase the minimum wage that we have been fighting and waiting for in this country, so that everybody will be living a good life that we have expected. Thank you, and thank you so much. Vote NNPP, vote Clayton for president. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, candidate of the NNPP. Next, we move on to candidate of the Labour Party. You have 1 minute for your closing statement.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for coming here for this debate. I want to reassure you again that my desire to lead this nation as your president actually stems from the great reality of hope. During our campaigns, we've been letting you understand that we have hope in Nigeria again. I have hope in our Nigeria, which is our own homeland. I believe that putting Nigeria first, it then means that there is no barrier that is going to stop us. Putting our voices together, uniting our hands together to bring about the Nigeria we want to see. And so I encourage everyone, choose Labour Party, choose Victor Damot, choose Abiba Suleiman to be your next president for the next 4 years. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow on the polls. I hope to see you voting for us. Good night and have a wonderful rest.
All right, thank you, candidate of the Labour Party. Next, we move on to candidate of the APGA.
Fellow countrymen, you have heard from all parties. Now you know which party is truly nationalistic. You know which party you don't need to ask their name or what part of the country their presidential candidate is from. And that is the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. You have heard our manifesto as much as I was permitted by time to rule it out. Please, for the sake of our lives, for the sake of our future, election have consequences. Please choose security and safety. Choose food security. Choose your physical well-being. Choose prosperity. Choose the future of your children. Choose APGA. Choose Sani Shehu Ahmed. Thank you. I look forward to having your vote tomorrow.
All right, thank you, candidate of the APGA. Finally, candidate of the APC, you have 1 minute to make your closing statement.
The month of 2016. We have been doing it. So if my party is decided to send people that send it to as the senatorial candidate, and at the same time send it forward as the presidential candidate, that means it's in our capacity to deliver. And one thing we have always been doing is that the policies we have always been operating, policies of development, policies of collaboration. At the end of everything, whatever comes at the end of the relation, we are going to make sure that other parties, we are going to carry them along in the thing. We are going to carry, it's not just going to be about our party, but we have been fighting that for the Nigeria work for all. If our candidates of APC, the candidates of party, we are going to work in alliance with them. I can't be there because I see that we all just like I do. But this we are going to call
Okay, we actually can barely hear you, candidates of the APC. But well done to all the candidates.
Thank you.
You did your best. And I wish you all the best of luck at the polls tomorrow. The polls will be open by 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So make sure that you rally all your people to come out and vote for you. So good luck, everyone, and good night.
Good night.